10 signs that the two of you are genuinely meant to be in each other's lives, not by random luck, not by pure accident, but because of something far deeper, something shaped by a higher purpose rather than mere chance. The first sign is one you experience before you can put it into words. It has nothing to do with reason or logic. It is something felt at a soul level. When two people are destined to find one another, something deep inside them recognizes the other long before the thinking mind has had any chance to process it. You might be meeting this person for the very first time in this life, yet there is a strange sense of familiarity, as though you have crossed paths before in a different time or place. There is no urge to put on a show or pretend to be something you are not. Rather than your chest tightening with nervousness, your heart grows quiet. It relaxes. It settles into something comfortable. You do not feel compelled to dazzle them or earn their approval. You simply feel understood. You feel welcomed just as you are. You are not on the defensive. You are relaxed. You feel free to be your complete, unfiltered self. There is a soft sense of belonging that no one could manufacture or force into existence. It feels like returning home after an exhausting and very long trip. This is the gentle magic of a connection that was always meant to happen. It does not arrive with noise or fanfare. It does not demand to be noticed. It carries an ancient, tender, and deeply familiar quality. It is as though two old souls look at one another and without saying a word, each thinks, "There you are. I have been looking for you." The second sign shows up in the way life keeps bringing your stories back together. No matter what unfolds, no matter how many times the world seems to be pulling you in opposite directions, something keeps drawing you back toward each other. Distance may come between you, the timing may feel completely off. Miscommunications may create long stretches of silence. Outside circumstances may force you to part ways. And yet, even after many months or sometimes years, your paths cross once more. You find yourself thinking about the other person at unexpected moments. You come across their name when you are least prepared for it. You find your way back to each other in ways that feel easy rather than manufactured. When something is truly meant to be, it does not need to be pushed or forced. It comes back on its own. There is a quiet pull that neither of you can completely turn away from. You might try to move forward with your life, but some unseen thread keeps gently steering you back, not out of desperation or unhealthy attachment, but because the connection itself still has a purpose it has not yet fulfilled. The third sign is that you grow as a person when you are around them. Being in their company does not make you smaller. It does not cause you to abandon who you are. Instead, it softly nudges you in the direction of a better, fuller version of yourself. You become more conscious of your patterns, your fears, and the emotional habits you have carried for years. They are not trying to reshape you, yet something about being near them makes you want to look inward. You start working through parts of yourself that you had long pushed aside. You speak more openly. You listen with more care and intention. Even the difficult moments between you produce lessons rather than lasting damage. There is effort involved, but that effort feels worthwhile rather than exhausting. Love does not feel like a constant struggle. It feels like a space where both people are becoming more than they were. The fourth sign is emotional safety. You can say what is true for you without worrying about being ridiculed, brushed off, or made to feel ashamed. You can open up about your vulnerabilities without feeling like it makes you appear weak. Quiet moments between you do not carry tension. You can simply be together without conversation and still feel a genuine sense of closeness. You trust that their intentions toward you are good, even when misunderstandings arise. You do not spend your time wondering whether you are valued. There is a steady calm beneath the emotional surface. When disagreements come up, they do not feel like the beginning of the end. There is comfort in knowing that hard conversations will not shatter what you have built together. The fifth sign is alignment, not perfection. You may be quite different people with different interests and different life histories, but your deepest values point in the same direction. The way you both think about loyalty, respect, honesty, and commitment lines up naturally. You are looking for similar things in life, even if the specifics look a little different from person to person. Your hopes for the future do not clash against each other. Instead, they complement and support one another. You are not contorting yourself to fit into their world. You are creating something that belongs to both of you. The sixth sign is that time loses its usual feeling when you are together. Hours slip by without either of you noticing. Conversations happen without strain. Even the most ordinary moments feel like they carry something special. There is no ongoing pressure to keep things entertaining or impressive. Simply being present with one another becomes more than enough. Being together feels real and unforced rather than staged or rehearsed. You are not watching the clock. You are fully inside the moment. The seventh sign is that effort flows from both sides without anyone keeping score. Love does not feel lopsided. You do not feel as though you are constant, tightly reaching out while they are pulling away. Both of you show up in small but steady ways. Care is communicated through actions, not just through words. There is a genuine balance. Giving does not feel like a sacrifice you make reluctantly. It feels like a decision you make freely. The eighth sign is that you accept each other's imperfections. You each see the other clearly, including the flaws, and you still choose to stay. There is no pretense of having found someone without faults. There is a grounded realism paired with genuine compassion. You do not try to reshape them into a different person. You love who they already are, while also cheering on who they are working to become. The ninth sign is a sense of peace even when things are uncertain. Life around you might be unstable, but the connection between you feels solid. Chaos in the outside world does not shake the ground beneath what you share. There is deep comfort in knowing you are not navigating life on your own. Being together becomes something you can anchor yourself to. The 10th and final sign is an inner knowing, beyond what reason can tell you, beyond what others advise, beyond your own fears. Something inside you recognizes that this connection matters. It does not announce itself loudly. It speaks in a whisper, a steady, quiet certainty that reminds you this meeting was not random. This bond carries real significance. When two people are meant to walk through life together, the universe does not shout. It aligns things quietly, and you feel it in a deep, calm, and unmistakable way. The connection always finds its way through, like rivers that may twist and wind through all kinds of terrain. They always make it to the sea in the end. When two souls share a bond that is guided by something greater than luck, life keeps finding ways to bring them together again, to reconnect, to heal old wounds, and grow alongside one another. You might try to walk away from it. You might tell yourself that chapter is finished, but destiny is not something you can truly outrun. You can push it aside for a while. You can delay it, yet somehow it finds its way back. Circumstances change, timing shifts, and suddenly there they are again, stepping back into your life in a new form, often when you are more prepared for them than you ever were before. This is because connections guided by something higher do not rush. They appear when the soul has done enough work to be ready to receive them. The third sign can also be found in the comfortable silence you share. With most people, silence feels awkward, almost heavy, like something needs to be said to fill the gap. But with the person who was meant for you, silence feels alive and peaceful at the same time. You can sit beside them without speaking a single word and still feel genuinely close. There is no pressure to explain yourself or manufacture conversation. There is no discomfort, there is only ease. It feels as natural as breathing. This happens because your energy is already communicating. Your souls are having a quiet conversation that requires no words. That kind of silence is uncommon. It is gentle. It is sacred. It is the silence shared between two people who do not need constant reassurance. They do not have to keep proving their love. They simply feel it deeply and effortlessly in the stillness that exists between them. The fourth sign also shows itself through spiritual development. When you are connected to your true soulmate, they do not arrive in your life to complete you, because you were never incomplete to begin with. Instead, they wake up the parts of you that had fallen dormant. They help you see yourself with more honesty and clarity. They encourage you to address the wounds you had been avoiding. They reflect your fears, your strengths, and your hidden potential back toward you. This kind of love can feel intense at times, because genuine love is not always soft and soothing. It is also transforming. It challenges you to rise into a higher version of yourself. It invites you to grow even when that growth feels uncomfortable and hard. You begin to question the patterns you have been carrying. You release the behaviors that no longer belong in your life. You become more awake, more present, and more conscious of everything around you. None of this is accidental. It is exactly the purpose a divine connection is meant to serve. The fifth sign is that emotional understanding between you grows on its own. You begin to sense how they are feeling, even before they say anything. You notice shifts in their tone, their energy, and the way they go quiet. Empathy moves easily back and forth between you. Neither of you dismisses what the other is feeling. Instead, you make a genuine effort to understand. When arguments happen, they are not about coming out on top. They are about finding clarity. You care more about peace than you do about being right. You want to resolve things rather than create distance. There is respect between you even during disagreement, because the bond itself feels worth protecting. The sixth sign shows up in how free you feel to be your authentic self. You feel no need to hide your shortcomings, your fears, or the difficult parts of your history. You can be truthful without worrying you will be rejected. Being vulnerable with them does not feel like a risk. It feels like the most natural thing in the world. You trust that your honesty will be handled with care. That sense of emotional safety lets you relax into the connection rather than keeping your walls up at all times. You are not stepping carefully around their reactions. You are walking in full trust. The seventh sign is balance. The relationship does not leave you feeling depleted. It fills you. You give, and you also receive. Energy flows in both directions without either person tallying up what they have contributed. Love is expressed through small, consistent actions and through showing up regularly. You do not feel like you are chasing their attention or begging to be cared for. There is mutual interest, mutual respect, and a shared intention to keep building something real. The eighth sign is acceptance without any illusions. You see each other as you truly are, not through the distorted lens of fantasy, but through honest eyes. You know their weaknesses, they know yours, and still, you choose each other every day. Love does not depend on one another being without fault. It deepens through understanding. There is patience, there is forgiveness, there is room to be imperfect and fully human. The ninth sign is a calm certainty. Even when life feels unpredictable, the connection itself feels stable. You may not have everything worked out, but there is a quiet knowing that this bond is something that truly matters. It feels grounded. It does not feed constant worry or anxiety. Instead, it brings a sense of peace even when things around you are difficult. The 10th and final sign is inner recognition. Deep within you, beneath all logic and outside all other opinions, something quietly knows this connection is meaningful. It does not shout or beg to be acknowledged. It simply exists as a soft, steady truth, a feeling that says this person was not a coincidence, this meeting was not random. When love is shaped by something higher than chance, it does not overwhelm or confuse you. It brings you into alignment, and in that alignment, you recognize something that feels unmistakably like home. Perhaps they inspire you to love yourself more fully than you ever have before. Perhaps simply being near them gently pushes you to confront fears you had long avoided, to take an honest look at your insecurities, or to heal old pain you thought you had already buried. This can sometimes feel uncomfortable, because growth often is. But somehow, even through the difficulty, everything they bring into your world makes you stronger rather than weaker. You become more aware of who you are and of who you are in the process of becoming. This is how the universe teaches love through growth. Real love is not only about comfort or romance. It is also about evolution. Your souls did not arrange to meet simply to expand butterflies. They came together to expand, to learn, to be transformed, and to rise into something deeper and more meaningful side by side. The fifth sign also reveals itself in how strongly you feel their energy, even when there is physical distance between you. Have you ever thought of someone without any clear reason, and then a moment later they reached out to contact you? Or have you ever felt an unexplained heaviness or emotional weight, only to later learn that they were going through a hard time on that exact same day? That is not a coincidence. That is connection. When two souls are truly intended for one another, their energies stay linked across time and space. Even when you are apart, you feel their presence. You sense their emotional state. You pick up on shifts in how they are doing. You feel them in your quieter moments. It is as though an invisible thread connects your hearts, pulling gently and reminding you softly. You do not need a constant stream of messages or reassurances to feel certain they care. There is a deep inner knowing that does not fade just because distance has come between you. You simply feel it without needing it explained. The sixth sign is understanding that comes without needing long explanations. You do not have to over-clarify your feelings because they already have a sense of what is happening inside you. You can say very little, and they understand so much. They notice shifts in your energy before you have even spoken a word. They feel your sadness even when you have dressed it up behind a smile. They sense that something is wrong even when you insist that you are fine. Communication travels beyond language between you. It moves through intuition, through presence, and through emotional awareness. That kind of understanding cannot be learned or taught. It simply exists when two people are operating from the same deep level of alignment. The seventh sign is trust that grows quietly over time. You feel secure with them not because they make grand promises of perfection, but because the way they show up for you remains consistent. You trust their intentions. You trust the goodness of their heart. Even when misunderstandings occur, you do not immediately jump to the worst possible conclusion. There is a steady foundation beneath the emotional surface. You believe in what you have built together enough to work through hard moments rather than run from them. Trust feels like something that arises naturally between you, not something that has to be manufactured. The eighth sign is that both of you honor each other's individuality. You do not lose yourself inside the relationship. Instead, you feel supported in being completely and fully who you are. They respect the limits you set. They encourage the dreams you carry. They do not feel threatened by your growth. They celebrate it. Love does not feel like something that controls or constrains you. It feels like something that frees you. You each grow as individuals while also growing closer together. The ninth sign is that difficulties bring you closer together, rather than driving a wedge between you. Life will test every connection at some point, but when the bond is truly meant, The hard moments become something that strengthens the relationship instead of breaking it apart. You learn to communicate with more skill and care. You become more patient. You become more compassionate. You face obstacles together rather than each carrying the weight alone. The connection deepens through honesty and through the willingness to keep showing up for one another. The 10th sign is a deep peace at the very core of what you share. Even when feelings run high, there is a steadiness underneath it all. You feel grounded in their presence. You feel centered. Love does not feel like ongoing chaos or a source of relentless anxiety. It feels solid, reassuring, and completely real. There is room to breathe. There is room to be a flawed and imperfect human being. When two souls are genuinely meant to be together, the connection does not rely on timing being perfect or on constant proof of love. It moves quietly, deeply, and with clear direction. It teaches love through growth, through understanding, through patience, and through a knowing that lives somewhere beneath all words. And as time passes, you come to understand that this bond was never random. It was written in energy, long before it was ever written in words. They can look into your eyes and somehow understand exactly what is happening inside you, without you having to say a single thing. This is possible because your connection operates on a level that goes beyond emotion. It is almost like something telepathic in nature. When two souls vibrate on the same internal frequency, communication becomes effortless and completely natural. It is no longer about choosing the perfect words or making sure your meaning comes through clearly. It is about energy. They are not just listening to you with their ears. They are feeling you with their heart. I sense your thoughts, your inner emotional state, and what is stirring within you. Understanding flows easily because the bond exists at a level that goes deeper than any language can reach. A quiet look, a small gesture, a meaningful pause, all of it carries weight. This kind of connection feels rare because it is grounded in alignment rather than in hard work. 7. You find each other at exactly the right moment, even if that moment feels painful when it first arrives. This might seem like a strange thing to say, but divinely guided connections rarely show up during the calm and easy chapters of life. More often they arrive during times of confusion, heartbreak, loss, or deep loneliness. They appear when you are least expecting them, when you are not out looking, and sometimes when you feel most broken. This is because the universe does not arrange these meetings for the sake of making life comfortable. It arranges them because growth needs to happen. Your souls find each other when they are ready to help one another heal, learn, and climb higher. Even if the beginning of the connection is painful or emotionally charged, the bond carries within it lessons that gradually shape who you are becoming. You do not meet this person to run away from your pain or sidestep your wounds. You meet them to understand those wounds more deeply, to face them with honesty, and to move through them transformed. The relationship becomes a mirror, showing you clearly what still needs healing and what within you is waiting to be awakened. 8. The connection holds its safety even during emotional storms. True love does not mean you never clash or disagree. It means that even in the middle of conflict, the foundation of respect and genuine care remains intact. You may feel upset, let down, or emotionally raw, but you do not feel that your sense of safety has been taken from you. You do not feel as though one wrong word could bring everything crashing down. There is reassurance beneath the tension. You know that the bond is strong enough to hold difficult moments without breaking. Arguments do not feel like they are teetering on the edge of abandonment. They feel like openings for deeper mutual understanding. There is a genuine willingness to speak, to truly listen, and to repair whatever was strained. Love does not pack up and leave when things get hard. It remains present, steady, and committed. 9. You find that your values are aligned even when your personalities are quite different. You may not share all the same interests or always arrive at things the same way, but your fundamental beliefs match each other deeply. You both value honesty, loyalty, respect, and emotional depth. You are seeking similar things from life at the most essential level. Your visions for the future do not work against each other. Instead, they gradually begin to strengthen and support one another. You are not bending your own truth just to maintain the relationship. You are building something that feels real, natural, and meaningful for both of you equally. 10. There is a profound sense of peace when your thoughts turn to them. Even when you miss them, the feeling sitting inside you is not heavy or tinged with fear. It is soft. It is calm. There is trust in the connection even when the circumstances around it are not yet clear. You do not feel driven to control how things unfold or to rush the journey along. Something deep in you understands that what is truly meant will come together in its own right time. Love does not feel like anxiety pressing down on you. It feels like something solid beneath your feet. It feels like certainty without the weight of pressure attached to it. When two people are genuinely meant to share their lives, the connection is not always loud or filled with dramatic energy. It is deep, consistent, and purposeful. It teaches patience. It teaches self-awareness. It teaches love through genuine understanding rather than through obsession. As time unfolds, you come to realize that this bond was never the product of coincidence. It was about timing, about growth, and about a kind of alignment that comes from somewhere higher. And once you have felt it, you understand that some connections are decided long before the two people involved have ever spoken a single word to one another. It means that even in the middle of arguments, the respect between you does not vanish. You may feel angry, frustrated, let down, or completely emotionally drained. But somewhere underneath all of that, you know they are not your opponent. They are your person. You do not view them as someone to beat or flee from. You see them as someone to understand more fully. The problems between you are not things you run away from. They are things you stand in front of together. The relationship is not built on ego, pride, or the need to be proven right. It is built on empathy, on genuine care, and on emotional honesty. You choose understanding over victory. And when love is real, even the most turbulent storms do not separate you. They draw you in closer. Hard moments make the bond stronger rather than weaker, because both hearts are devoted to growing rather than controlling. 9. The world around you starts to feel different when you are in each other's company. When you are with the person who was meant for you, reality shifts in quiet but powerful ways. Colors seem more vivid. Moments feel fuller and more alive. Time appears to slow down slightly, as though life itself is asking you to stay right here a little longer. Even silence between you carries meaning rather than emptiness. There is a soft kind of beauty in simply occupy. Enjoy the same space together. It can feel as though the universe itself is watching the two of you with quiet joy. This is what it feels like when two people are in true alignment. Everything around you seems to move in harmony with what you share. Small coincidences begin to happen more frequently. Songs take on a personal quality. Even animals seem more settled around you. Perfectly ordinary moments begin to feel quietly extraordinary without any effort being made. This is not imagination or wishful thinking. It is about frequency. When two people are aligned on a deeper level, the energy they create together changes how they experience everything around them. Love becomes something you feel not only between one another, but all throughout the world you inhabit together. 10. You feel gratitude without always being able to explain exactly why. The most powerful sign that you are meant to be with someone is not desire, physical attraction, or even the intensity of your feelings. It is gratitude, a quiet, steady thankfulness that lives inside you without needing to be announced. you wake up feeling grateful that this person exists, not only in your life specifically, but in the world at all. You feel thankful for their presence, for the nature of their soul, and for everything their journey has brought them to become. Their happiness matters deeply to you. Their sense of peace brings a calmness to your own heart. Even when you cannot always be physically close to them, what you carry inside is appreciation rather than fear. There is no feeling of loss or lack. There is instead a silent thanks to the universe for arranging your paths to intersect. You do not hold on to them out of fear of losing them. You treasure them because they deserve to be treasured. You do not require ongoing reassurance. You trust what you have. Love feels less like clinging and more like a steady appreciation. You want what is genuinely best for them, even when that extends beyond your own comfort. And in the quiet moments, without needing any words at all, something in your heart simply says, "Thank you for this meeting." When two souls are truly meant to be together, the signs are not dramatic or obvious from the outside. They are gentle, consistent, and felt on a very deep level. The connection grows patience, understanding, and emotional maturity in both people. It does not push or force things toward an outcome. It unfolds naturally, guided by growth rather than by control. And as time passes, you realize that encountering this person was never a matter of chance. It was a matter of timing, of energy, and of a purpose that was set in motion long before you ever exchanged a single word. Because when two souls are truly meant to be together, they do not belong to each other in the way that one person owns another. They are not bound by control or the desire to possess. They simply belong with each other in the deepest sense of the word. And no distance, no obstacle, no misunderstanding, and no circumstance that life throws at them can erase that truth. Time may challenge the bond. Life may lead them on unexpected detours, but what is truly meant will always find its way back. Real connection is not brittle. It is resilient. It endures separation, silence, and uncertainty, because its roots go deeper than any outward circumstance. It lives in the soul rather than simply in physical nearness. A love like this is not ordinary. It does not come along for everyone. It carries something divine within it. It is rare. It is the kind of love that quietly restores your faith that perhaps the universe really does have a plan. One that works beyond logic, beyond the limitations of timing, and beyond everything human understanding can reach. When two souls are written into each other's story, they will keep finding one another again and again, until the lesson between them is fully learned, until the love is completely understood, and until they finally get it exactly right. Sometimes that happens within a single lifetime. Sometimes it may take more than one. But what has been written into the soul does not simply fade away. So if you have met someone who brings stillness to your restlessness, warmth to the coldest corners of your heart, and genuine growth to your spirit, do not brush it aside. Do not let your mind talk you out of it. Do not try to reason it away into something smaller than it is. Hold it carefully. Protect it. Honor it with patience, honesty, and consistent care. Connections of this kind are not commonplace. Not everyone is fortunate enough to meet the one who reflects both the brightest and the most shadowed parts of themselves back to them. If you have found that person, it was not an accident. Your paths did not cross by pure chance. They crossed because the universe decided the moment had finally arrived. They crossed because both of you had reached a point where you were ready to receive what was coming. Some connections change the entire way you understand love. Others change the entire way you understand yourself. And the rarest ones do both at the same time. They wake you up. They steady you. They remind you that love is not about disappearing into another person, but about becoming more fully and completely who you already are. And once you have experienced a bond like this, you understand that destiny does not force anything upon you. It simply guides you gently and persistently toward what your soul has already known all along. In the end, love that is truly meant for you does not leave you confused, worn down, or doubting your own worth. It brings clarity where there was noise, stillness where there was chaos, and meaning where there was emptiness. It does not reach for ownership or control. It reaches instead for understanding, patience, and mutual growth. This kind of connection does not arrive to rescue you. It arrives to walk alongside you as you grow into more of who you are meant to be. It teaches you that love is not something to be chased, manufactured, or gripped tightly out of fear. It is something you recognize, something you honor, and something you tend to with care. When two souls are brought together by something greater than coincidence, the bond carries a quiet and enduring strength. It withstands distance, the passage of time, and every challenge that comes its way, because it is built upon truth rather than illusion. It reminds you that the deepest love feels safe, steady, and expansive all at once. It gives you room to breathe, to heal, and to grow without ever requiring you to shrink yourself. And if you have felt this kind of connection even once in your life, you know that it changes you in ways that cannot be undone. It leaves you more open to life, more aware of what matters, and more grateful for the journey. So place your trust in what brings you peace. Trust what helps you become more of yourself. Trust what feels strangely familiar even without any clear explanation for it. Because love that is written by destiny does not need to prove itself. It needs presence, care, and the quiet courage to show up for it. And when you honor it, you are honoring not only the connection itself, but the entire journey that your soul was always meant to walk. Welcome to Psychology Fact. If you are curious about the deeper truths of the human mind and heart, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss something that might shift the way you understand love, connection, and the life you are living.